What's up guys, IDK Player coming with another NASCAR Heat 4 video guys, and today we'll be making a video on 50 more things that need to be in NASCAR Heat 4. So as you guys know, previously I made a video called 50 things that need to be in NASCAR Heat 4. So we're going to be adding another 50 things that need to be in NASCAR Heat 4. But before we get in that video, shout out to my donators, Brett Ludwig, Reverend Rashim Store, and Giancarlo Suarez. Links to their channels will be in the description below. So without further ado guys, let's get started. So before I get to number one, I just want to let you guys know in the previous video of 50 things that need to be in NASCAR Heat 4, anything I did mention in that video will not be a part of the 50 things that will be in this video. So if you guys want to go check that out, link to that video will be in the description below. It should be the first link. And also I just want to let you guys know, if I accidentally said something that was in the previous 50 things that need to be in NASCAR Heat 4 video, I'm sorry, they must have gone through editing, but I did my best to go back and check to see and make sure none of the 50 things that are in this video were in that previous video. So let's get on to number one. So let's start off with number one, simulation mode. So simulation mode was in NASCAR Heat Evolution, but the only problem was with simulation mode and Heat Evolution, it was really not that well done and it definitely needed work on. But I believe if they bring back simulation mode for NASCAR Heat 4, I feel like it'd be a great experience, because with simulation mode and NASCAR Heat Evolution, you would hit the wall and you would get a lot of damage. And compared to, you know, the regular mode that was in NASCAR Heat Evolution, you would definitely get more damage in simulation mode in NASCAR Heat Evolution than you would hitting a wall in NASCAR Heat 3. So I believe if they bring back simulation mode, even if it's just for single player or even if they bring it for multiplayer, I think it would be a great experience. For number two, driving down pit road manually, I think would be a great experience for it being in NASCAR Heat 4, because in Project Cars 2, for multiplayer, you could already drive down pit road manually, and that is actually super cool in my opinion, because even if they bring it to NASCAR Heat 4, whether it's just for single player or multiplayer, it's a really good experience just to go drive down pit road, including when you're making a pit stop, to drive into your pit stall, have the crew members work on your car, and then exit within the speed limit. I think that would be a really good experience if they bring it into NASCAR Heat 4. For number three, in-game currency. So I talked about in-game currency a couple times on Twitter, and a lot of people love the idea of having in-game currency in NASCAR Heat 4. So basically, the way this would work is we would bring back speed points and open up a virtual shop where you can unlock cosmetic items, not items that will help you in games. So basically what I mean by cosmetic items is basically unlocking custom car templates for your custom car, or unlocking stuff like classic tracks or some tracks that usually are not in as nighttime in the NASCAR Heat games, but just have a version of it at night. So for instance, Homestead is usually never at night in NASCAR Heat games, so to have a version of Homestead at night would be a good thing to unlock, including for Martinsville, have Martinsville at night, even ISM, Atlanta, tracks like that that aren't usually under the lights in the NASCAR Heat games. You can have a version that you can unlock in the virtual store, and you can earn those speed points by running single player, multiplayer, career mode, championship mode, challenges, etc. For number four, more save slots for custom cars. So as you guys know, as of right now for NASCAR Heat 3, we can only save one custom car, and we can change it up multiple times. But if we go back to how it was in previous NASCAR games, for example NASCAR 14 and NASCAR 15, we were able to save as many custom cars as we wanted to. So if we go back to something like that, I think that would be very useful and helpful for multiple drivers that are very creative in these NASCAR games and want to make some awesome custom paint schemes. For number five, have the ability to own more than a one-car team. So whether it's a two-car team, three-car team, four-car team, it doesn't really matter. Just a multi-car team would be pretty fun to have in career mode. So right now we can only own a one-car team, but if they bump it up to two or three, it'd be pretty fun and entertaining for the people that want to own teams in career mode. For number six, side scrapes on the cars from the wall. So basically, if you hit the wall right now in NASCAR E3, you won't really have side scrapes. It'd be like a little wrinkle, but having the ability to have side scrapes on the side of the wall is just a visual effect that looks pretty cool. So having that in NASCAR Heat 4 would be pretty awesome. For number seven, if a driver crashes, put them to the rear of the field. So as of right now, if you crash or have an AI driver crash in multiplayer, including if they're in the top 10, usually when the restart happens after the caution, they'll still be in the top 10. So at least have them go to the rear to make it a little bit more realistic. Whether they pit or not, just have them go to the rear or let their cars not drive as well as they usually do, because sometimes they still drive like they have no damage. Number 8, VR capability. So I think having VR capability in NASCAR Heat 4 would be pretty awesome. Go into, cockpit view and just look around. Just something visual that I think would be pretty cool to add to the game. For number 9, more custom car customization. So as of right now, as you guys know, we have a custom car customization, but if they do not bring a paint booth into NASCAR Heat 4, then we need to have more custom car customization options. For instance, changing the color of our spoiler or just having different templates for us to choose from. For number 10, being able to own a race team for multiple leagues at one time. So right now we can only own one race team at a time, even though we can move up and down with the race teams. For instance, own a Cup team or an Xfinity Series team. We can only do it at one time, but we cannot own multiple teams at once. So I think that'd be pretty cool to see where people could go with that and how they would use their money in career mode. For number 11, having a safety rating. So having a safety rating I think would be pretty cool. They have this already in Project Cars 2. It's actually very useful for certain hosts that want to race with strictly clean and pretty well raced drivers that usually don't get caught up in trouble or start stuff. So I think that would be pretty cool to have a safety rating in NASCAR Heat 4. For number 12, have the ability to set a minimum safety rating for multiplayer. So if you want to race with drivers that have the best safety rating, you can set the minimum safety rating to as ever high or low you want to. Just this little option that I think if you add to multiplayer, it'll produce better racing for certain drivers that just want to have the best racing experience, including if they are very good drivers. Number 13, multi-groove racing. This is very self-explanatory. There's not really that much multi-groove racing in NASCAR E3, so having multi-groove racing in NASCAR E4 would be pretty cool. For number 14, mini tournament lobby. So how this would work, the host of the tournament lobby would set how many races there will be for the tournament and which tracks you would go to, and basically whoever has the most points at the end of the races all being completed will win the tournament. I think this would be something pretty cool, and it would be pretty fun to have in NASCAR Heat 4 multiplayer. For number 15, have the ability to set how many laps you want to do in a race. I think this would be pretty cool to add to both single player and multiplayer, including for multiplayer, like if you just want to do a one lap shootout with your friends, that'd be pretty cool, or whether you want to do a 999 lap race, it's up to you. Setting your own amount of laps for both multiplayer and single player would be a pretty cool option to add into NASCAR Heat 4. For number 16, please bring a version of Tiburon Speedway into NASCAR Heat 4. Who doesn't love that track? For number 17, multiplayer qualifying single car. So basically how this will work, it'll work exactly how iRacing does it. Everyone goes into their own type of session and they get a certain amount of minutes to set a qualifying lap. Pretty self-explanatory for single car. For number 18, adding a trophy room for career mode. So I think it'd be pretty cool to go to a trophy room and see all the race 1 trophies or championship trophies that you have acquired over the times while playing career mode. For number 19, have the ability to use clutch. So right now in NASCAR Heat 3, for your controller, you cannot use clutch. So having a clutch option for NASCAR Heat 4 with the controller would be pretty cool. For number 20, have a rival system in championship mode. So basically just have the regular rival system that's in career mode right now, just implement it into championship mode. For number 21, put your name on the banner of custom cars. So right now we can't do that, and if we just add that, that's just a small little detail that would be pretty awesome to add into NASCAR Heat 4. For number 22, answer media questions in career mode. So I know 2K does this with their NBA games, but I think if we add this into NASCAR Heat 4, it's just something small that would be pretty nice to see in career mode. For number 23 and 24, pre-race and post-race commentary. That would be pretty cool to see in NASCAR Heat 4, whether it's for single player, championship mode, or even career mode. For number 25, customize your own fire suit. This would be for your custom driver, so that's just another option to add into NASCAR Heat 4. For number 26, bring back hero and villain system, and basically this is to tell if the fans or most of the fans either think that they like you as a driver or they don't like you as a driver. I forgot which NASCAR game this was in, but it was in a previous NASCAR game. For number 27, bring back the speed factor for some tracks. So as of right now, for some tracks in NASCAR Heat 3, it doesn't feel like we're going as fast as they actually would in real life. So if we bring back the speed factor for NASCAR Heat 4 for some of these tracks, it would make the gameplay quality way better. For number 28, bring back Fast Facts. So Fast Facts were in NASCAR Heat Evolution, and you were able to see these Fast Facts before you enter a race. So I think if we bring back Fast Facts, it's just something visually that would be pretty awesome to bring back. For number 29, add more tracks to the Dirt Series. I think if they add more tracks to the Dirt Series, it'll make the Dirt Series more enjoyable. For number 30, hire a crew chief in career mode. So this is something small that I think will be really reliable for career mode in NASCAR Heat 4. Basically, the crew chief will work strategy for you and all that stuff. For number 31, have a vote to kick system in multiplayer. How this would work is basically if for whatever reason the host does not see a person that keeps wrecking people on purpose, the players that are in that lobby can vote to kick the person that keeps wrecking people on purpose, and basically when a certain amount of votes are casted for that person to be removed from the lobby, they will be removed from the lobby. For number 32, have a multiplayer practice session. How this would work is basically there'll be a practice session before the online multiplayer race starts, and the second the practice session does end, there'll be an intermission, and then the actual race will start. For number 33, be able to bushwhack in career mode. So basically, let's say you're in career mode right now and you're in the Cup Series right now, but you want to race some Xfinity Series races, you are able to do that if you're able to get a ride. For number 34, have the pit crew make errors. So how this would work is you would go down pit road, make your stop, and then all of a sudden, by accident, by whatever reason, the pit crew just, screwed up. So I think that's just a realism factor that you could add in there for NASCAR Heat 4. For number 35, change what driver you want to drive for in multiplayer. So as you guys know, for a multiplayer session, the second you enter that session, you can't change what driver you want to drive for. So what you would have to do is back out of the session, change the driver, and then get back into another session. It would be really easier if we were able to change what driver we want to drive for while still in that same session. For number 36, add legend cars. So I think if you add legend cars in NASCAR E4, it'll be pretty cool to add another lower series into the game, but that's just my opinion. For number 37, have ranked lobbies. So how ranked lobbies is going to work is you'll be paired up with someone the same skill level as you in NASCAR Heat 4, and you guys would race it out. So you'll be racing with people the same skill level as you, so you can avoid bad drivers if you are a very good driver in NASCAR Heat 4. For number 38, add time trials. I think if you add time trials into NASCAR Heat 4, it will really help drivers get better at the game. For number 39, be able to save replays from multiplayer races. I think this would be pretty cool to add into NASCAR Heat 4, because if you see a really cool finish in NASCAR Heat 4 for multiplayer, you want to save that video clip and see it from a broadcasting standpoint. I think that would be pretty cool. For number 40, have the option for pit exit rules. I think this would be pretty cool, and it can also help the gameplay and avoid wrecks coming out of pit road, because what it will do is you have to follow the pit exit rules for whatever track you are racing on in the game. For number 41, have the option for drive-through penalties. So basically what this will do is instead of having you wait on pit road longer for speeding on pit road, you would have a drive-through penalty, so you have to come back around and go down pit road again. I think this is better because, once again, it brings the realism factor into NASCAR Heat 4. For number 42, have a franchise mode. I think this would be pretty cool. Now, I'm not going to really touch base on this a lot because I'm going to make a video dedicated to having a franchise mode. Franchise mode is basically like owner mode, but instead of having it in career mode, it would be its own little mode, and there's going to be also a bunch of stuff that I'm going to talk about it in a video that will be dedicated to having franchise mode, and it's going to go into details, so I'm just going to let you guys know about that. So yeah, franchise mode being in NASCAR Heat 4 would be pretty cool, and once again, I'll be making a video dedicated to that in the future. For number 43, have multiplayer test sessions. I think this is actually a good idea because you and your friends can work on setups together in a multiplayer session for the same track. I think that's pretty cool in my opinion. For number 44, have the ability to share setups. So I think this is pretty cool. They have this thing in Project Cars 2, and I think this will work perfectly with number 43 for test sessions, because you and your friends could go into a multiplayer test session, and if one of you guys find a really good setup, you can share the setup with your friends. So just something I wanted to add on to number 43, which was number 44. For number 45, have the option for multiplayer group qualifying. So I think this would be pretty cool, including if you're the host, you get to choose whether you want to have qualifying before the race starts or not, or you could choose what type of qualifying you want to have before the race starts, whether it is single car qualifying or group qualifying. For number 46, have daily objectives. I think this would be pretty cool to have something like this in NASCAR Heat 4, just something small, and it's pretty cool. For number 47, have realistic attendance for lower series. I think this would be pretty cool to bring in, once again, the realism factor of having to go through the ranks, including in career mode. And to be honest, some of these tracks for the lower series, like for instance Indianapolis with the Xfinity series, that won't be sold out, I don't think, ever. So just using that as an example. For number 48, make racing on the wheel more enjoyable. Now, I have yet to race on the wheel in NASCAR Heat 3, but some people have told me that it's not as enjoyable as racing on the wheel in, let's say, in iRacing. So I would just say, for the people that race on the wheel, make it more enjoyable for them. For number 49, make night races look like night races. I'm saying this because as of right now for NASCAR Heat 3, a bunch of night races that are in this game, they really don't look like night races. So if we bring back that night race look and that night race feel for NASCAR Heat 4, it'll make night racing look way better than it was in NASCAR Heat 3. And finally, for number 50, being able to change the settings for multiplayer in a public multiplayer session. If we are able to do this, this will make it easier on the players. So as you guys know, as of right now, Project Cars 2 already has this, and for a public lobby, you could change the settings while you're still in the lobby. And for NASCAR Heat 3, if you are trying to make a public lobby but you want to change up, the race length, you have to back out of that lobby and make a brand new public lobby. So this will make it so much easier on the player. So that will be it for today's video, guys. Thank you guys all for watching. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to smack that like button. Comment down below your opinions about this video, and don't forget to subscribe for more NASCAR Heat 4 news videos, NASCAR Heat 3 2019 DLC videos, NASCAR 2019 DLC live streams, Project Cars 2 live streams, and GTA 5 NASCAR live streams. I hope you guys did enjoy today's video. It was a very enjoyable video, and guys, don't forget to subscribe for those things. We are almost at 7,000 subscribers. So thank you guys all for watching. I'll see you guys in the next live stream or the next video. IDK out. And I got this soda. Women, boys,